Hello, friends. Welcome to your hangout sesh with me. Thank you for being here. I have struggled with content creation and selling myself and my services in my business as a mental health coach, as a soul therapist, as a life coach, as whatever the fuck you want to call it. I've just had a really hard time getting it off the ground. The most money I've made in a month is probably about $500. And I've been going at this for about 5 years now. So, desiring to build an online business for me stems from the motivation of a few things. For one, I'm a very romantic person. I'm a Pisces, I'm a dreamer. And so the potential of entrepreneurship to be limitless in terms of what you can do creatively in your expression, but also of how much you can earn financially. And the other aspect to it that I like is the freedom that comes along with it. Because if I am working for myself, then I can run the business by the values that I hold. Then I can run the business by what works for me, operating by what I need in order to be sustained by the business in my life, so that I'm having the life and living the life that I want to be living instead of spending my life working. And it's not that work is a bad thing. It's just that in my perspective, it needs to be two things. First, it needs to be aligned with joy and satisfaction and fulfillment and reward. The other thing is that it needs to be balanced with the rest of life. And I believe that the way that most work structures are set up currently don't really allow a lot of time for stopping and smelling the roses, so to speak, for being present. Modern day life for, I think, most people has become very fast paced, very urgent, very fly by the seat of your pants, very reactionary to what other people are doing and to what is going on all around the globe. We live in an era of information that exposes us in a way that exposes us to more frequencies and more I guess just more frequencies and more potentials for experience than I think we really had, like we as a human race, like really had access to before the internet on a really wide scale. You would have to, like the way I imagine it, you would have had to have been like a very active world traveler to be exposed to all of the things that happen in all areas of the globe. And it's just more and more prevalent now. And I think that that's a lot energetically and emotionally to take on. So you can turn on the news today and you are effectively consuming and receiving a lot of frequencies of lack and scarcity, not water places, not enough trees places, not enough food places, not enough resources for this thing, not enough homes to house people, not enough peace. And then you have violence. So a lot of conflict and whatever going on seemingly anywhere on the planet, like every single day, multiple times throughout the day. So you might not be experiencing these things in your present reality, but you're now being exposed to it and it's coming into your present reality. And the mind has an ability to kind of look at that, especially the mind in a state of survival consciousness, will look at that and literally the body perceives, the ego perceives it as, oh, there's war going on, there's conflict going on, there's famine going on, there's imbalance going on, something is wrong, right? And this has led to a lot of increased anxiety that adds to the stress of our already very busy and very full and very fast lives that we're living. And it just puts us into this state of fear, really. And the reason that I think that I'm being called to teach the work that I have been channeling for many years now, probably about 3 years since 2022. It's been like in my brain, and I've put it into courses in different forms, but I think in this moment in time, it's really like it cannot live in my being anymore. Like it needs to be expressed. And so the reason I think it's so important, it can be summed up in: be the change you want to see in the world. I really wholeheartedly believe, and have for my whole life, that there cannot be someone else who solves the problem. If you're perceiving a problem, you are the only one who can do something to choose something else, to choose a solution, to choose a different experience. And that's our power as a creator. And so if we continue to live in a state of consciousness individually that is one based in fear and lack and a fundamental misunderstanding of our nature and where we come from and the true nature of true reality, then hold on, I just lost my train of thought. When one understands that about themselves, when they understand that they have the capacity to move from a state of survival to a state of creating, then what we see happen is in alignment, like a puzzle piece in a jigsaw puzzle finding its way into the greater picture. And when that happens, and when all of the puzzle pieces do that same thing and find their place in alignment with the greater picture, what we have is beauty, coherence, truth, alignment, perfection. It's not about erasing humanity. It's not about chasing some euphoric way of living. It's not about doing anything externally. It's about coming into union with oneself. And when we stop fighting ourselves internally, when we stop fearing judgment from the divine, from our neighbors, from our family, when we stop fearing loss, what happens is we experience a state of freedom, of love, of truth, and of joy. And in that state, your creative capacity, your capacity as a creator, as a divine child of God, made in the image of God. And I'm not speaking about one religion. I'm not a religious person. This is about humanity and divinity as whole and as one. When we come into our true nature and understanding that, everything changes. Because when your true nature, your truest essence is divine unconditional love, and you open your heart and you live in that place, you are in union with all that is. Everything is available to you. You are an unlimited and infinite creator, consciously, in human form. There is no more veil. There is no more fear. There is no more polarity because it has been unionized, united. Think about what America stands for at the beginning of its inception and how far we've moved away from that 250 years later. The United States of America. This country ultimately represents freedom, but we are so far from that. It's incredibly painful and difficult to witness. But freedom doesn't start by fixing systems and trying to use the mind to fix a problem that really only exists in the construct of our own doing. We created a society that looks like this, and we can create something different. But it has to start with the heart. And I believe that when the founders created this idea, that's where they saw it working, was when we are in our heart, when we are living by very basic elementary values. Kindness, love? What is love? What is love? That is a really big question, actually. And my perspective right now, most humans don't actually understand what love is, don't actually know how to be love, don't know how to receive love. More than that, they have a human perspective of love, which is polarized. They think that the opposite of love is fear or hate, and it's not. Love is fear. Love is hate. The easiest and most simple representation of this is the yin-yang symbol. Love is the wholeness of everything. Love is everything. Love is all there is. Love acted out in relationship to another person looks like unconditional love. It looks like truth. It looks like joy. What is truth? To be honest, to not lie, to not manipulate. When we're so stressed and burnt out and overwhelmed, how difficult is it to be patient to our neighbors, to our brothers and sisters? When we're in a state of lack and desperation, how difficult is it to give? To have patience, to think about others, to remember that we really are one human family and that we could be living an entirely different experience than we are right now. But that's not someone else's problem to fix. It's ours. It's ours. The more that we sit here and point the finger at someone else and say, it's this person's problem to fix, it's this person's problem to fix, it's this person's problem to fix, we keep kicking the can down the road, down the road, down the road, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And I know this because I lived it, because I'm literally experiencing it right now. Because for so long, I have kicked the can down the road, denying myself and thinking that something outside of me was going to make something happen, was going to give me permission, was going to tell me that I was ready, was going to tell me that I'm worthy. I have been a spiritual seeker probably since about 2019. And before that, I was avidly into personal development. I love learning. I'm so fascinated by realized human potential, understanding what that even means, understanding what that looks like. Self-realization, self-actualization. It's always fascinated me. And I think that's why I got into the industry of coaching and mental health. And eventually that led me to spirituality. That led me to energy, consciousness, awareness. That led me to seeking to understand who I really was, what I was doing here. What does it mean to be human? Where do we come from? Why does almost everyone on the planet have a different idea about what that looks like? Why does things not add up? The stories that were told from one place to another about where we came from and why we're here. When I reflect back, I can see how these questions have really been burning in me from a very young age. But my journey up until literally a year ago, less than that, has been one of survival. It has been one of, I don't have the space and capacity to answer those questions or explore those questions because I have to fucking survive. I have to keep myself safe because there's people here who are going to abuse you and extort you and blame you and break your heart and shame you and judge you and treat you horribly and not take care of you, not really give you a lot of help. So I understand very deeply what it is to live in survival consciousness, what it is to spend a lifetime there. But here's where I think the most important aspect of this video, of this transmission, is in understanding that had it not been for understanding very deeply and very darkly, is that a word? The range of despair and suffering and struggling and survival. My life path, my journey would not have led me to seek truth, to seek understanding. And through that journey, what I have come to see, the vantage point that I now hold, is one that brings me back to seeing the miracle of life, the beauty of life, the joy of life. And that beauty is not only positive. Beauty is beauty because of the positive and the negative, because of the light and the dark. There is only love. Love is all of it. So when we want to look at someone who's doing something horrendous, unspeakable, unfathomable, and call them evil, that's denying an aspect of all that is. Love is mercy. Love is grace. Love is forgiveness. Love transcends forgiveness because love understands that there's a free will choice that we have as humans to play in the playground of life that includes great pleasure and great joy and great beauty and great horror and great hatred and great fear. It's all of it, and it's been designed for the experience. And were it not for the polarity or the duality, we wouldn't even be having the experience. We are a soul having a human experience. That's not just a saying. That's what it is. So what happens at the human experience, firstly, in and of itself, is a paradox, because we experience the illusion or the virtual reality of being separated from our source, from our creator. But it's just that. It is a game. And we all take it way too seriously. We have taken it way too seriously. And it has led us up into this like very high tension boiling point where we've lost the plot. We've lost the point of life is to enjoy it, to bask in the beauty and the experience, to go travel someplace you've never seen on this earth and be completely mind blown at how majestic it is, how ineffably beautiful it is. To taste something that delights your senses, that your whole being exalts. That is what we're doing here. Why are we spending our time fighting over what? Fighting over human constructs that we created because we said, oh, well, we think that this is how we should organize this. Oh, well, now it's not working. Oh, okay. Well, rather than find a solution, let's just fight about it. Okay. I mean, we can choose that. Or maybe we could choose something else. I don't know. But again, this has to happen internally first. This has to happen internally first. Look at your relationship with yourself. And that's why the work that I do is self-abandonment, which is a lack of self-love, which is a lack of honoring of self as a divine creature, as a divine soul, as a divine child of God, as a divine creator. I lost my train of thought. One day I'm going to get a really good editor, but right now I think we're just going to roll with me in my very raw form, because I'm really just gathering that that's all I can do anyways. That's how I live in alignment with my truth. And my truth is that I go on tangents and sometimes I lose my train of thought. If I'm working with clients, I literally hold thought bubbles like this because that's how I see it, because that's how I keep track. And when I don't have someone directly in front of me, I can get lost in my head a little bit. So they're not as organized. When we stop abandoning ourselves, when we start honoring ourselves, when we start having forgiveness for ourselves, compassion for ourselves, grace for ourselves, patience for our journey, when we stop judging ourselves, critiquing ourselves, yelling at ourselves, belittling ourselves, bullying ourselves, in our mind, in our self-talk, in our unwillingness to share and express our needs and our truth. Granted, because we were told to, right? It's not your fault. It's not any of our fault. We do not have to find a place to place fault and blame. It doesn't really do any good. Accountability is important. So we can name it. Okay, this is awareness, non-judgmental awareness. We can name it so that we can examine if that's really serving our highest truth, love, and joy. It's not productive when I doubt myself. I don't get more done when I beat myself up. When I force myself to do something that my body or my spirit doesn't have the capacity or will to do. When I fight, when my mind, body, and soul and heart fight each other and can't come into union, into coherence, into harmony. So what do you think that we're seeing reflected out in our world? It's a lot of fighting. It's a lot of not forgiving, not letting go of the past. It's a lot of trying to force. It's a lot of scarcity, as if Mother Earth doesn't provide everything that we need. We are a family. We are all connected. And it doesn't matter what your spiritual belief or orientation is. It doesn't matter what your religious belief or orientation is. It doesn't matter what the color of your skin is. It doesn't matter if you are a good person or a bad person. And those were in air quotes if you're not watching the video, because those are human value judgments that, again, don't exist in divine unconditional love. So when we learn how to practice divine unconditional love, when we learn how to understand the innate worth and value that we have by virtue of existing, and we honor that, then we can do that for another. But our first lesson, our only work, our only job is to do that with ourselves first, to stay in our own lane and to worry about our blessed selves and not anybody else's journey. Because let's also talk for 1 second about humility and understanding that even me, as I speak it now, really have no idea of the truth of what's really going on here. I have my truth and my experience, but that by no means that leads me to have the very clear understanding that I know nothing, that I don't understand anything. Because my one human life is so infinitesimal in all that there is. How can I judge another? How can I say that I'm better than another? How can I say that I'm more of authority on anything than anyone else? I can't. I can't. I can only speak my truth. I can only share it. And I can only perceive it as my truth. But just because it's my truth doesn't mean that that's anybody else's truth. And that's a scary thing about speaking your truth, is what if I speak my truth and people think I'm fucking crazy? They probably will. And that's one of the things I've had to look at. So then I had to ask myself, well, if I'm crazy, can I accept myself as crazy? Can I love myself even if I'm crazy? Can I love myself if I'm a bad person? Can I love myself if I share my truth and it hurts someone? Can I love myself even if I'm misunderstood? And the answer to all of that is yes. But it's taken me 35 years to get there. And it's taken me 5 years of entrepreneurship and coaching and therapy and spiritual seeking to be able to be at the point where I feel comfortable, maybe not 100% comfortable, but like comfortable enough to do it. To say, here I am. Here's my truth. Here's my experience. It's not all pretty. It's not all perfect. It's what I'm working with. It's what I've got. And I think it's pretty great. And, there's more and more people who think it's pretty great. And it's funny because those people didn't really start showing up until I started recognizing it within myself and saying, oh, okay, I like myself. I love myself. I'm in alignment with me and my truth. So much so that I feel invulnerable within it. Not quite yet unshakable. It's still, I'm still in the beginning phases, like coming out of the truth closet. Taking off the masks, It still feels raw and vulnerable and new. But I'm excited to see where it leads. And I'm excited to see how speaking about my own journey and the ways that I'm moving through the work that I'm being called to teach myself, I think will come to be some of the teachings themselves. Or at least I hope it is. And at least that's how it works when I work one-on-one with my clients. I have never been the person that didn't talk about my personal experience with my clients. I always do, because my clients are often going through similar experiences to what I'm going through in their own unique way, but I get to take the lesson that I learn and share it with them in real time, in real life experience. And oftentimes that is what resonates with them. Not me giving them a tool or a technique or whatever it is, but them seeing themselves in someone else's experience and not losing themselves within it. And understanding that they can move through whatever it is that they're experiencing, that they're not stuck, that they're not failures, that the game isn't over, that they can pivot and they can grow and they can heal and they can recover and they can strengthen and they can live more in alignment with their love and truth and joy. And that is really, really beautiful to witness. And I'm very honored and overjoyed and blessed that I've been chosen to do this work. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for witnessing me. I love you, and we'll talk soon. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what comes up for you. I'm so curious to know. Bye.